meet you.
Nice to meet you.
It's an honor.
Did you post that like 40-minute House of Pain documentary thing on Reddit?
I did.
Nice.
So I sat down. I meant to make a 5 to 10 minute like hype video.
Mhm.
I just had so much to say. So
That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I love this series, and it was awesome that you and Hax were able to get flown out. Now, I talked to Blentech. He said that he had been meaning to fly you out to an event like this for a while now. So
yeah, we've been talking about it. It's always been kind of hard to figure out like a proper scheduling, but I'm glad we were able to do it today. Obviously, I won, so that's nice too.
Absolutely. Well, let's take a quick look at your run today.
Yeah, let's go through the whole thing.
Okay. So I've got top 64. Can you talk a bit about pools? Who did you play in pools?
Oh, jeez. I played 2 Falcons.
Okay.
First one was like Metzi.
Okay.
Yeah, I tried to like use my early matches to try and think like as hard as possible, to try and like do good things. It's kind of hard to do good things when you also need to win at the same time, if that makes sense.
So I'd love to delve into this because I've talked to some top players before about like in those early sets where you're probably going to win, like there's a really, really small chance you'll get upset.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's all about conserving energy. Like you don't want to go all in and then be a little bit more tired when you're in winners, quarters, and semis.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what you're getting at?
No, I just mean like there's a lot of things I'm working on, like very specific things that I'm trying to get better at.
Okay.
And it's hard to practice those things because I'm not as good as them. Because I'm not as good at them right now as I need to be.
Okay.
So I need to practice them. But it's hard to practice those things in sets that are like very, very close.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. Like I can't like work on something new versus Ginger.
Right. It's all about executing your game plan against Ginger, not like exploring and trying to improvise and add new things.
Yeah,
I totally understand.
yeah. It's basically like executing my game plan versus Ginger, whereas like trying to solidify my game plan earlier.
Understood.
Earlier rounds. Yeah.
So did they take? I mean, it wasn't like double 4 stocks, right? Like, did they keep anything kind of respectable?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I was trying to double 4 stock them, I probably would have. But
all right. So understood.
Yeah.
Understood.
But no, I mean,
I won't dispute that.
No, they're very nice guys, and it's just like there's a lot of things I'm trying to get better at, and yeah.
Well, I'd love to dive a bit more into like the specific things you've been working on. But let's keep talking about your run. So winners, round 1, you face off against Danny Phantom, who I actually commentated a set of his in pools, and he upsets a different Fox player to get to you.
Oh, really?
So he had been playing pretty well. I see that he actually did take a game, which is very surprising. So how did that go?
So Danny Phantom, he's like #1 in Wisconsin. I think his tag used to be Unreal.
Okay.
But so game 1, I was like, I'm going to try and do all the good things. I'm going to like be very mindful. That's like something I'm trying to work on is like paying attention, looking at the screen, being very mindful of like all of my inputs.
Sure.
But what happens is it's very hard to like win while also like thinking about literally everything.
Sure.
One of the things I struggled with that I noticed during that set, sorry, my eyes are watering for some reason, is it's really hard to transition between like very thoughtful neutral and then like executing like Sheik's tech chase punish game.
Right.
Because when I'm tech chasing, I try and like clear my mind, enter Zen mode.
Right. Gotta get in that flow state.
Yeah,
right?
flow state. Yeah. Whatever you want to call it. And so it's hard to do that. It's hard to like flip a switch between thinking about literally every single interaction and like what I should be doing. Like, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I grabbed him. I have to like clear my mind.
Exactly.
And it's harder to do that when your mind is full of things. Whereas if I'm kind of like not necessarily autopiloting, but if I'm playing to a game plan that is more rigid in my head, it's less jarring to go from that to tech chasing. So if that makes sense.
So you are basically what you're saying is that you were kind of struggling with this, and is that kind of how you had to get taken to game 3 against Danny Phantom?
Yeah. Also, I like fared him off stage, and there was a Phantom.
Oh, really?
So maybe his tag had something to do with that. I think he made like, honestly, I think he made like a 3-stock comeback. He's pretty good. But then I decided to just like beat him and not think about things, and then
Don't you love when you just decide to win and it works? Like it's a great feeling.
Yeah, it's actually kind of weird, but that's literally like it just happens.
I have a feeling that that's going to be kind of the narrative of Grands for you when we get there. But moving on, well, you played against O'Reilly, so another Falcon, your 3rd Falcon of the bracket thus far. That was a 3-0. He's really one of the best Falcons in the Midwest. I struggle to think of one that's better.
Yeah, it's him. You got like Vista.
Yeah.
You got like Majursk. Is he technically?
Majursk. Yeah, he's. I mean, I think he's lower.
No, yeah, I mean,
he's
definitely
kind of bring up the rear end of the best Falcons in the
Midwest. I'm just trying to think of like the other ones.
Yeah, and there's who's the one guy I'm forgetting. He's from Michigan. He took a set off of KJH a while ago. Can't remember if I remember his
Juggle
tag.
Guy. No,
probably not Juggle Guy.
But yeah, basically like versus really, Falcon is one of the matchups that I think I'm like actually better at.
Okay.
Like of the top tiers.
Right.
I just like have thought a lot about that matchup because I lost to like at GTX. I lost to Wizrobe game 5, and I felt like I just like didn't really know what was happening. So I like watched a lot of pup videos and talked to Drug Fox a lot about like certain game plan stuff. So that one I have like a pretty solid like idea of what I should be doing.
Okay.
And so that one was not very close.
Okay, so that was winners 16th, winners guaranteed 9th. You got to winners quarters, mostly unscathed, and you face off against Michael. That was a game 5 set.
Yeah, so I went up 2-0, and then it went to game 5, and so like he almost reversed 3-0'd me.
I heard about that.
The first 2 games are on FD, and I like FD versus Puff, but the matchup is a lot different than every other stage. Obviously, there's no platforms, and Sheik is insane on platforms, and it's really hard for a lot of characters, especially like someone as slow as Jigglypuff, to actually approach you on the platforms. And I kind of like forgot what I was supposed to be doing. Like I played like 3 FD games in a row, and then I played on Yoshi's, and I was like, oh man, like I don't really know. I forgot what the good things to do were, and then the answer is just like kind of camper a little bit.
Had you ever played Michael before?
Yeah, so since I'm from Chicago originally, I kind of left right as Michael got really good. So I had played him when he was worse than he is now. And I won like the majority of those, but he did take a couple sets here and there. All at like local stuff like Fuddruckers and stuff.
But you've won like the most meaningful sets.
Yeah. So it was cool because I don't think I played him in like 2 years. And same with O'Reilly actually, because both of those guys I'd played in Chicago.
Of course.
And then I moved to SoCal, and then I didn't really play him. So it's cool to like sort of see where I'm at now as opposed to where I was before, and like what new ideas I have and the things I can execute. But yeah, Michael's set was super scary. It was like last hit, last stock. I killed him with like weak Nair, and he also phantomed me at the same time. I don't know if you were commentating.
That's insane.
You saw that,
I wasn't commentating that, but I'm going to go back and look at that.
We like weak Naired each other at the same time. I wouldn't have died or anything, but like he phantomed, and I don't know if a real hit would have hit me before my Nair hit him, if that makes sense. Because we traded basically.
Right.
But I don't know if the non-Phantom would have made him win.
If his Nair hit, do you think you would have died first?
I wouldn't have died, but I would have been getting edge guarded for sure.
Okay, but
if it didn't hit him, there was no chance of me dying because Jigglypuff's Nair doesn't like kill like that.
Right, of course.
It would have set up for an edge guard, and then I would have died.
Okay, so you narrowly avoid the reverse 3-0 from Michael.
Yeah,
and stick in winners.
Yeah, and I was kind of happy about that. Like happy about playing him because I lost to Legend at Genesis, and I kind of like forgot what I was supposed to do. Like I played like super impatiently versus him, and so I was happy to play Michael, who is also a pretty patient Puff.
I think
sort of see where I'm at.
I didn't know that Legend had that win. I think he's better than most people give him credit. He's just kind of like a hidden boss. I mean, he's kind of well known, but
he definitely wouldn't be surprised if he like shot up a lot, especially because he beat me, and then I'm pretty good, so that might help for that.
You did win the tournament.
I did, yeah. You're welcome, Legend.
You did. I want to talk a little bit about Abs and Paige because I really wanted to see you guys play. Fortunately for you, in my opinion, you were able to dodge him because Ginger double eliminating him.
Yeah.
Had you ever played Abs and Paige before?
Yeah. So I've played him. The record is either 3-1 or 4-1 in my favor.
Okay.
Lifetime. I played him at GTX and won Game 5, so that was like a couple months ago.
Oh, you know what? I remember when I was like doing research for the video I made. You guys played like a week or two ago, right? And that's the one set that you took?
Yeah, actually. Yeah, we played this Monday.
I saw one of those games. One of those games was kind of brutal.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But also, I like got gimped. I'm really bad at edge guarding spaces. Like I get edge guarded more often by them than I do edge guard them.
I think that
pretty bad.
You got better as time went on, especially against Ginger. There was just a couple like times where he was up being below the stage where I just like thought, why are you not running off stage? And,
yeah, it's kind of weird because I don't want to like.
You don't want to get hit and then.
Well, it's hard to like space yourself so that if he's at a higher percent, he can like wall tech, and then I don't want to like run down and then hit him into the wall. And so if he's like under the stage, it's like kind of tricky to hit him away from the ledge. But yeah, no, there's a lot I need to work on.
It seemed to me like,
which means not to interrupt, but I'm just incredible if I like. I don't know. I'm just really happy the fact that I could just like miss 100% of edge guards and
still win.
Still win.
Yeah. And I can't wait to get to grands because the difference between the first and second set was staggering. But we're in winners semis. You face off against KJH. What was your set count history like with him going into that?
I've won 1 or 2 sets in the past. He was actually one of the first people that I beat like when like I was coming up.
Right. Okay.
I played him at some Indiana tournament. Maybe. I don't quite remember the name, but that was before I was top 100, and then I beat Hugs and KGH back-to-back at that tournament.
That's sick.
And that was like the first time I beat him, but the record is like vastly in his favor. It's like I think the only other times I've beaten him in the past were because he played really, really bad, and then I just kind of happened to win. But
so what happened this time?
I just played insanely well. Like I just did all the good things that I was trying to do. I did all the good things. My tech chases were ridiculous.
It was. I mean,
he would just die, and that's insane. Could you imagine just killing someone when you grab them? That.
Yeah, wow. Have you ever considered ice climbers?
No. My ice climbers are pretty bad. I don't understand all of the intricacies of the desyncs and the moving around. I just wave dash down smash and then jab grab and then. But no, yeah. My punish game with Sheik is better than my punish game with ice climbers, so that's kind of funny.
Understood. I was very surprised and just very impressed with 3-0 over KJH. I mean, anybody 3-0 in KJH. He's 25th best player in the world. You make it to winners finals against Ginger. One of the only set between you guys that would go to game 5.
Yeah.
What do you think was the main deciding factor that helped you take that set instead of Ginger?
I just felt like I think versus Falco, my game plan is very like I have to take advantage of very minute spacings, like very tight like dash chances and wave dashes around his aerials or lasers and stuff.
Right.
And so if I'm confident and if I'm like in a good mental state and I think that I can do well, then I'm on point and my punishes are ridiculous. He like tries to auto cancel back air and then I dash and grab, or I like ledge dash away, grab him and stuff like that, where if I'm confident it just leads to a kill and it's very good. But if I'm not confident and I'm shaky and I get the grab and then I miss the tech chases, which is kind of what happened the first set, for some reason I was like kind of frustrated, and then I would just like miss tech chases and then I would miss edge guards, and then I was winning neutral enough to where it was close despite the fact that I couldn't edge guard or punish game him.
Yeah.
Which is weird. But yeah, I play Squid a lot at all of our locals.
Of course,
like every single local we go to, we play each other usually twice in like winners finals and grands, or a reset maybe sometimes 3 times. And so there's a lot of just like Falco experience that I have, but they play kind of differently.
I was just about to ask that. In what way do you think that their play styles are different?
You know, that's a question that I cannot put into words, unfortunately.
It's very hard to articulate.
In my head, I'm like, oh yeah, this is a Ginger thing, or like this is. I think Ginger's punish game is slightly better.
I agree.
But I think because Squid and I play so much, he gets like certain openings that like don't make any sense in the context of like a normal Sheik Falco match.
Because that's more of a player versus player thing.
Right. But because he gets those, he's just like super good at it. But yeah, they talk a lot too. They're on like the Bird Call podcast, which is really cool. You should check that out. If you haven't.
It's definitely something worth checking out, along with the rest of Ginger's YouTube content. He's been putting out a lot of analyses. He did one recently on his set with Zane, which was sick.
Yeah, no,
he's comeback on FD.
One of the like more prominent analytical minds of our current generation, because he just makes actual analysis videos.
So and he does it well.
Yeah, and his commentary is really cool too. Also, he's just a super nice guy. He's very kind to me.
He's always been a nice guy to me too. I remember the first time we all heard his commentary at that summit when he was commentating some Fox Falco set, and like everybody just loved his commentary right from the get-go. I can't remember the last time that one person just commentates for the first time in like a big event, and everybody just resoundingly positively reacted to it.
Yeah, well, he not only does he just have a really high level of understanding of like things that are happening, especially Falco, but he's like actually able to articulate it, which is obviously all the top players like know what's happening, but it's very different to be able to put it into words. And like commentary is a whole different thing because you have to keep with the flow of the match. I'm sure you know you have to make sure you like talk about the right thing. If you wait too long, all of a sudden that was like 10 seconds ago, and that's not relevant anymore.
Exactly. Like commentating Melee is a really, really interesting challenge. Like there's so many unique challenges that, you know, in many other esports or even just sports, you have a lot more like downtime to set things up. But yeah, like, I mean, you can get a top player on the mic, but, you know, you wouldn't throw Absent Page on the mic, right? Like, they might know what they could say, but some people are going to be better at articulating that.
Personality matters a lot, and Ginger has it all.
He does. He's the full package.
Yeah.
So looking at losers, because obviously we had to wait a bit for losers to finish up before Ginger would eventually make his way back to Grands. What most surprised you about the way that losers top 8 played out?
Well,
and if you need it, we have it here.
I was impressed with like Eggy's run. I think he got 9th, and I was kind of. It's not necessarily a tag that I would be like, oh yeah, Eggy's there, but he started in losers actually.
Wow, yeah, you're right.
I did look at the thing. He beat like 10 people in a row.
He beat Badger, Fox Capacitor, Danny Phantom.
Yeah.
He beat Azu and Ferocity.
Yeah, and Ferocity went to Game 5 with Hacks too.
Yeah, that was so close. Dude, my buddy, his name's Nick, his tag's R&R. He came with me from Ohio. He took Game 1 off of Hacks and Pools, and then Game 2 went to last stock.
He was Falco?
Yeah.
Yeah, someone was
telling me. He was one stock away from sending Hacks to losers from Pools. Would have been insane.
Yeah.
But we've all been there, and I'm sure you could attest to this. Like, before you got your first big win, was it Hugs or KJH? Which one was first?
In that literal tournament, it was Hugs. And then I played KJH after.
So you got both those 2 wins in the same run.
Yeah.
But before you got that win, like you surely had another set against a top player that you almost won but didn't clutch out.
Oh
right?
yeah, there's like hundreds.
There was tons of
them. If you look up Captain Faceroll like Melee on YouTube, every set like 90% of them are me losing, and then the vast majority of them it's like Game 5 or I'm up and then lose. I mean, I still have those sets like Lucky. I don't think it was like an insane comeback, but I was definitely up at the Mango, and it was Game 5, and then he did some dirty things, and I died. But yeah, no, I mean, that happens all the time. It's actually something I'm trying to get better at, and I'm not really sure what the answer is necessarily, but it's not,
it's a very personal journey kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know if it's something that like goes away. I don't know if you like hit a certain skill level. It's at least not 33 in the world, maybe 32 in the world. You all of a sudden, it's like, oh, you're calm, cool, and collected. I guess what I try and do in situations is just call back to my game plan a lot, because it just forces you to actually, one, think about it, just like distract your mind from the fact of all these external factors, like, oh, what if I win? What will my ranking be?
Because those aren't productive.
Right.
They're not going to make it more likely that you win. It's probably going to be counterproductive if you're thinking of those things.
Yeah, and so not only does thinking about like your game plan get rid of those thoughts, but they actually just make productive thoughts, because it's like, oh, what should I be doing versus Falco? Oh, I should be using the platforms to evade his lasers and then try and hit him, or I should be like covering his side B with this certain thing, or and that actually just is pertinent to the match.
Well, so yeah, Eggy did get 9th. He lost to Zamu.
Zamu's incredible.
Zamu is so good. I wanted to, dude, Zamu took KJH in winners quarters to last stock Game 5. He was so close to taking that set as well.
Yeah, I would have played him in semis.
You would have.
If that, yeah.
Would have been interesting. But
or it would have had a butterfly effect, because I think I played Michael afterwards, and I would have barely lost to Michael if Zamu had beaten KJ based off of certain things.
Could have been the case, yeah.
Yeah, I do want to bring up doubles, I guess, because I played doubles with Zamu.
Okay.
We got second, and double Fox is very difficult to beat.
So
when you're not also
Abs and Paige Hacks.
Yeah, they just like are really, really, really fast. They fly around. They're doing all these moves, and I'm just like sitting there, just like a lonely sheik, just like charging needles, trying to do moves in place, trying to move around.
I would just feel scared.
Yeah. Well, yes, and then also you just have to be very careful. You can't the main issue that I have, I guess in like singles too, is I just do a lot of moves and then I get hit for them. I'm like trying to do stuff too proactively, and I'm not really thinking about what I'm doing. I'm just kind of like pressing buttons and being a silly head. And that's really bad in doubles, because people love to shield. And
and shielding is buffed in doubles, right?
Right, yeah, especially Sheik's grabs are kind of slow. They're really good if your Foxy mate is there, but you can't just like grab.
Yeah, like Fox, like the throw is so much faster that like you can kind of get away with that, but
exactly. And you get like a stronger punish immediately too. Like up throw, up smash, all of a sudden they're in a tech chase situation. That by itself is like 25%. Whereas like Sheik down throw, it's like, especially against a fast faller, it takes twice as long and only does 8%. And then, yeah, they're not popped up, they're just on the ground.
I love doubles, man. I wish that melee doubles was bigger.
Yeah, I mean, you just kind of have to, I think the main thing, at least when I was worse at it, is I didn't like it because I didn't really understand what was happening.
I think that's it. Like, I think a lot of people don't like it because they're just not good at it, because they don't get it.
Yeah.
But the better you get at doubles, the more fun it becomes, to watch, because you just understand more. It's just a more interesting thing. And Armada pointed this out, that most other esports are team-oriented games. So we're kind of unique in the sense of it's always a 1v1. I mean, of course, there's other examples, but nevertheless, so Ginger, what's possibly of the most impressive things of the whole tournament is him double eliminating Abs and Paige. Going into this, I thought Abs and Paige was the clear favorite. I called that Ginger would win. And I did not think that you were going to win. So you impressed me, and congratulations to you.
Yeah.
But did you talk to Ginger at all about him ledge dashing? Do you know why he wasn't ledge dashing at all?
No, but I don't know. I try not to think about it. I miss a lot of ledge dashes too. So in my head, when I think it was either like the first game of the second set where I took like 2 stocks literally because he like accidentally rolled instead of ledge dashing. Yeah. In my head, I was like, wow, this is really sad. I feel kind of guilty just like killing him for this. But then I was like, oh, he literally won the first set because I couldn't ledge dash, so I don't feel bad anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
you have to, especially in like a competition, you have to just like try and remove those thoughts because like.
You have to identify your opponent's weaknesses and exploit them. Right.
Well, not even that. I just mean like you should take advantage of things without like feeling bad. Like I lost a game to Danny Phantom because I fared his up B but phantomed and then died. And then I like maybe potentially won versus Michael because of a phantom.
So like, there's a lot of give and take in the game.
Right. The world finds a way. But you can't like, it's really easy for me at least. I don't know if it's like a personality thing, but to like give too much credit to my opponents in that sense, like, oh, like I didn't actually earn that specific interaction, or like, oh, they SD'd, like,
and like I think like honest.
Right, I think about those things a lot. Like in the winners set, game 5, he like tried to do some insane shorten the last stock on the left side.
Yeah.
And then he like mid shortened instead of mid longed, I think.
Yeah, it was like one frame too early.
Right, and like I wasn't getting the edge guard. I wasn't edge guarding at all. So so like he killed himself, and like I don't know. You have to not think about those things and let them affect you.
You earned the position that put him into the spot where he made that mistake.
Right, yeah.
Like you put him in a spot where he had to execute and he didn't.
Yep.
So
and also I got tag and play shined a lot, so I'm not really worried about that.
But can you talk a bit about Grands? Because after the first set, I honestly thought like how can Ginger lose this after such a dominant first set? What was the difference? Because you clearly adapted in some ways, and you know, I'm not close to your guys' level, so it wasn't immediately apparent to me what kind of changes you were making. What changed?
Well, honestly, I was just like the first set I was just playing like really scared and like not confident in my decisions. So I'd put myself in good spots to beat things, but I wasn't actually like taking advantage of the position I was in. So I was like shaky on my tech chases. I wasn't like confident of the neutral interactions, and that matters a lot because if you're trying to do things that are super frame tight, like play around Falco's ginormous hitboxes, or try and like edge guard him, where if you're 2 frames late, then all of a sudden you get meteor spiked from the side B, stuff like that.
Right.
You have to be confident in your decision. Like it's much better to be confident in a mediocre decision than it is to have like the perfect idea in your head and then be not confident at all.
Yeah, I think that's so huge for so many players. There's so many players out there that they feel like they can perform better, but they're not able to execute. In your personal journey, do you feel like you've improved in that regard? And what advice would you give to people in regards to like gaining that confidence to execute their idea in tournament with all that pressure?
Well, one thing I did super recently, like within the past week, is I made a Google Doc like matchup cliff note thing, which is basically I have all the top tiers plus like, actually no, it's just all the top tiers right now. Okay. And it's basically like 5 to 6 bullet points of like things to do in neutral and like edge guarding things. And they're not like very detailed. It's like not like a guide. It's just like a cliff note thing for me to look at before the set and refresh myself like, oh, okay, right, I need to be moving around the platforms. Or like, oh yeah, I need to wave dash back F tilt versus Fox, like stuff like that. And so doing that makes me more confident in like doing that refreshes my memory on what I'm supposed to be doing, and then it's easier to be confident in it because it's like I get hit in neutral and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be doing this thing. I literally just looked over it. It's totally fine. Whereas if I get hit without having refreshed those notes, then I have to like recall it. I'm like, oh, I got hit. What am I supposed to do there again? Even if it takes like a second, just refreshing yourself is super important. Shout outs to Dark Fox for suggesting it's super simple. I mean, I could show you. It's just like 5 bullet points.
Sure.
Of certain things.
I miss Drug Fox, dude.
I don't know if I need to show the. Oh my god! But yeah, it's like I don't know if this. Yeah, so it says like Fox, and then it's like 5 bullet points.
Edge guarding, yeah.
Edge guarding, Peach, and then.
Do you
really bad.
Would you be interested in considering releasing that for other Sheik mains to utilize, or is that more your own personal thing that you don't want to release?
Well, it's not. I guess I could. It's just like super bare bones.
I guarantee there are people in this chat right now that would love to read that. I guarantee it.
I might need to edit some things because maybe say certain things about certain players.
Understood.
Who choose certain options. I need to be prepared for them. But I don't say it in very nice language on my phone.
Yeah, that's fair. You know, you didn't originally write it to show it.
Yeah, it's mostly just like I use like acronyms and stuff too.
Sure.
But so that's been really useful for me, specifically for just like grounding myself mid-set or like right before the tournament set happens, and then on related to like releasing those. The issue is with that is that it becomes like official, and then I would much rather like actually type it up. But that's not the point. The point is to like write your own ideas, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so it would surely be helpful for anybody listening to do this exercise on their own.
Right. They don't have to be even like the perfect ideas. Like some of the stuff I have written here is not like it's not like Drug Fox. You'd be like, oh yeah, that's the correct thing to do. He'd be like, yeah, that probably works sometimes, but what if they do this better? It might not.
Okay.
But
Makes
yeah,
sense.
I guess if you have no idea what you're doing, then me releasing it would help you. But yeah, I'll think about it. Maybe I'll just make tweets about it. I don't want to like post the actual.
Okay. Well, I have a few questions.
Yeah, go for
and
it.
then if you have anything that you wanted to share, but earlier in this interview, you talked a bit about specific things that you've been working on and how you were trying to implement those against some of your earlier Falcon opponents in pools. What specifically have you been working on?
Mindfulness. So like actually, like Drug Fox calls it screen looking. Like actually like looking at the screen and like the kind of joke is like, did you ever play like an FPS? With like your siblings or something,
right?
Where it's like split screen.
Yeah.
And how like you're not supposed to screen look. It's like cheating. But in Melee, you can just literally look at your opponent. You always see what they're doing. So anytime they do something, it shouldn't really be like a surprise. Like everything that you're, like every decision that you're making should be thoughtful, based off of what your opponent is doing in general, or what your opponent has done in the past. So that's like, honestly, it sounds super simple, but like it's really easy to play this game and kind of just do stuff, and then just like short hop fair 8 times in a row. And like not think about the timing or the spacing. I'm just like, oh yeah, I like fairing in place, and then all of a sudden I get like dash attacked or something.
I totally agree.
So that's something I've been working on, and it's really hard to do that, like I said, versus opponents that beat you up, because it's just really hard to like think and play at the same time.
Yeah, because I mean, when you get a grab against like KJH or Absent Page or Ginger, like there might be that thought in the back of your head where you're like, okay, it's really hard to get grabs against this guy. He punishes me super hard, so it's that much more important for me to really take this as far as I can. And again, that's more of a counterproductive thought, but a lot of the things you're saying, they make a lot of sense, but it's really easy to forget just how important
Right,
they are.
and well, here's the thing about that is, so I take Drug Fox lessons like a couple times a month because I'm like a patron. But that's actually one of the things we talked about recently, is the things that sound super, super obvious are sometimes the hardest. They're like the easiest to forget. Because you hear me say, like, oh, you should be thinking and playing. Someone is like, oh, yeah, duh, of course. But then they don't actually, like, try and – it's so obvious that they don't actually work on implementing it.
It's so obvious that they forget why it's the case, and they overlook the value of it. So are there any, like, in-game things that you've been working on? Like, for example, like, Laud's been working on, like, the sub-float up air tech against Falcon. Is there anything that you're thinking about to kind of push your Sheik, or even just, like, the overall general Sheik meta at this time?
Well, for me personally, like, a lot of stuff I'm working on is just, like, execution-based. So it's like I re-taught myself to ledge dash in the sense that I used to ledge dash with, like, pressing straight down. But, like, the, like, optimal way to do it is, like, it's slight down forward.
Slight down forward?
Yeah.
That's so scary on Battlefield, because, like, what if you, like, bump your head and you're dead?
Sheik is kind of broken, and I don't think that happens that often, but when I play my incredible Samus, that happens more often than it does with Sheik. So it might be, like, a character thing, too.
How incredible is the Samus?
It's really bad.
Prince Abu also tries to tell everybody he has a great Samus, and he doesn't. So I'm taking
Samus,
what you're saying with a grain of salt.
Samus is too difficult. She, like, just kind of, like, sits there and moves around and does these moves that, like, don't kill you, but they, like, kind of poke you a lot. You can't, like, actually combo someone to death, usually. Especially in floating matchups, so
yeah, definitely
it's less enticing to me. But yeah, so I like retaught myself to ledge dash. There's like a picture on like Twitter and Smashboards of like the picture of like the stick gate. I want to say like Cardano made it, where it's like where you should be doing it so that you don't fast fall, but also so that you're immediately drifting towards the stage.
So actually, by pressing away, it's suboptimal in some way.
Yeah.
What's the end result? Is it that you get less invincibility? You ledge dash like not as far away from the ledge? Like you don't get as close to center stage with ledge dash?
You have to make sure you jump forward. And so if you press away and then jump, you jump backwards.
That's okay.
So you have to. It's harder to then press away and then press forward for the jump. So there's that. Like, so pressing down forward, you're already jumping forward.
Can you, can some characters even ledge dash properly if they get the backflip? Because I don't know. I don't know if I accidentally backflip sometimes because I always press away because I don't want to fast fall.
You probably don't. If you jump frame perfectly, you won't fast fall. So there's that too. But I don't know all the specifics, so I don't want to put out misinformation because the more we talk about it, the more likely I am to say something that's incorrect.
Okay.
But basically, that's an example of something where I kind of retaught myself to ledge dash. So my ledge dashes are a lot better now in terms of gallant, or intangibility than they used to be.
They were looking pretty crispy.
Yeah, at certain times, I actually don't want to brag, but I played a friendly with Hacks. Hacks money. And, I did this insane ledge dash, and he was like, dude, how much intangibility did you have? That was insane. And, coming from Hacks, that's, I was like, wow.
Yeah, definitely coming from Hacks. That's huge.
That, was that very nice compliment.
Hacks is an awesome guy.
Yeah, no, he's super nice.
I pretty much met him for the first time today, and he played a money match with me. He sat down, we played some games. And
yeah, he's chill. Guy. He types an essay when playing.
Yeah. I'm just so
playing
happy
on the
for
box.
him.
It looks like this.
I've been a fan of him since he played Falcon, man. So to see him, it feels like he's back. It feels like he's at the point where he could have won this tournament.
Well, I'm sure he would say he's not back yet, but he's in the process of getting back.
He's closer to being back than really any time the past several years.
Yeah, well, for sure. But, he was top 6 once.
Okay, so I think this is my last question.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to in the future? Do you have a Twitch or a Twitter that you want people to follow? How can people support you?
Yeah, so my Twitter is at @SSBM_Faceroll.
It's on the layout too.
My Twitch channel is Captain_Faceroll. I haven't streamed in a little bit because I'm trying to get my bearings with getting acclimated into my job and stuff. And
So did you just recently graduate?
Yeah, I graduated 6 months ago, so it's not super recent, but it's really hard to try and play Melee as well as possible and also stream at the same time.
Oh my god.
Because with
a full-time job.
Yeah,
too.
well, the practice that I need to do, I can't do it while streaming. So I feel bad
What do you
either certain thing I can't interact with the chat while practicing things. For example, tech chasing. If I'm practicing tech chasing, I have to clear my mind and go SpongeBob mode where you forget everything except for fine dining and tech chasing.
What I will say really quick, not to cut you off, but Axe does occasional streams where he'll practice tech chasing or he'll do some sort of tech skill practice, and he explicitly tells the chat I'm not going to be interacting with you guys because I'm focusing. Yeah. And I mean he pulls that off. So
yeah, I could definitely I'm definitely making excuses a little bit, but anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I could be doing more for sure. I think you can always do more. It's just hard to do that and try and be good as much as possible. So Twitter at @SSBM_Faceroll. It's it's under there.
It's right there.
Twitch channel is Captain_Faceroll. Future tournaments, I'm going to one tomorrow. I'm absent paging it up, and I'm flying back to SoCal tonight, early this morning.
Oh my god.
I'm landing at 5 a.m. ish, actually 7 a.m. And then
He's been across the country every weekend for the past 4 weekends in a row.
Yeah.
I don't understand how he does it.
He's very powerful.
He's a monster.
And so I'm doing that. I landed today at 5 a.m. and then got an hour and a half of sleep and then got picked up around 8 a.m. From Pleba, who actually probably wants to leave. So
okay,
he's waiting for me. But yeah, so I'm going to Ultimate Nimbus tomorrow, and that's a SoCal monthly. So Army, West Balls, Fiction, SFAT probably.
Oh, wow.
That'll be hard. I might go too because I'll have 0 hours of sleep. But it'll be exciting. So
it will be.
I'm excited for that. And then
definitely check that out on Twitch.
Yeah.
Do you know what channel that's going to be on?
I want.
I mean, it'll probably be the most watched Melee stream tomorrow. So just look at the Melee streams. But
yep. And then other tournaments, I'm going to Full Bloom, which is
Excellent.
2 to 3 weeks from now.
Excellent, yeah.
And then I want to go to
I
Gommel.
love Full Bloom, dude.
I want to go to Gommel as a Full Bloom's. I really
go to Full Bloom.
Yeah, Full Bloom's really good.
And if you're not going to Full Bloom, you watch Full Bloom.
Well, everything is capped, so
it's capped.
Yeah.
Find a way. Or just watch it.
Yeah, you should watch it. But yeah, Full Bloom, I want to go to Gommel because I've never been to Canada before, and I like the fact that they banned wobbling, and I feel like I should go to support them.
Samesies.
But I might not because it's a $10 million.
This is starting to get a little political. I think we want to cut
Oh, yeah, no. Wobbling is fine, but not really. Anyway, thanks so much. Oh, yeah, shout out to my sponsor, obviously, Prometheus. It's like what the PS stands for. They've helped me get to a lot of tournaments recently.
I'll check them out. I'm sure they have a Twitter, right?
Yeah, and so this tournament in particular, I got flown out by actually the tournament organizers.
Right.
But like GTX and Dome Park and et cetera, like all Prometheus. So shout out to them.
Well, again, man, congratulations. Very impressive stuff. Happy for you, and pleasure meeting you.
Yeah, it's nice meeting you
and
too.
And hope that we can see you back in Champaign or the Midwest sometime. And you're from Chicago, so I'm sure this won't be the last we'll see of Captain Faceroll.
Yeah, I love Champaign, actually. So
same. I mean, I live like 4 hours away, but I come to every single one of these regionals for very good reason.
Yeah.
We gotta head out, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been House of Paign 20. I've been Zetz.
I'm Captain Faceroll.
And we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.